gentlemen, welcome to the hills of West Virginia, where Morbius, say hi, Morbius.
I'm Morbius.
And I'm Eric Ashby Brown. We're going to bring you some pick'ems throughout the week. And I don't know if I know last week we tallied it up. Who won?
I don't know.
Well, we got to do a tally because, the reason why we do this show is totally and utterly pride.
Yeah.
No. So I'm going to say I won.
Although I did win my Steelers pick.
Unfortunately, you didn't get that. Ladies and gentlemen, today will be broadcast to you by our sponsor. Well, they're not really our sponsor, but I got the mug. Cracker Barrel. You want a good, hearty breakfast at any time of day. Doesn't matter, morning, noon, or night. Show up at your local Cracker Barrel, and you will have a wonderful, wonderful time. All right, so let's get into the show. What do we got?
Let's get we're going to start off with, I guess, our high school picks. We're just going to do the top high school games this week. And before we get into them, we're going to talk a little bit about Musselman, their game today. We're not going to pick.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's the same way with Steelers. I'll never pick against Musselman. So it doesn't matter who they're playing. I pick Musselman. They're going to win this one. They're going to come back. But who are they playing?
They're playing the number one team in the state, Cabell Midland. They average about 50 points a game. Now, granted, Musselman's defense is a lot better than I think most people. I think most people thought the offense was going to carry the load this year. It's been the complete reverse.
And they'll get that going. Coach Thomas he'll get that going.
If they can just put points on the board, dominate time of possession, you always have a chance.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to dominate time of possession.
That's a long haul. We made that trip a couple of weeks ago for soccer. That's going
nice
all the way
stadium.
to Cabell County. That's a really nice stadium, and they'll be ready for the Appleman. But I'm telling you what, I think Musselman is going to shock the state. They're going to come back just like they did in 95. 95, they went up against the South Harrison team that was number 1, and they were number 16. Lightning's going to strike again. I'm picking Musselman.
I would love to see Lightning strike again. But I wonder if there's anywhere we can watch the game, because I will be watching the game.
I don't know. You go to Cabell Midland. I know I went to Morgantown and got the game from there. So what else we got on?
All right, so the docket here, probably, again, one of the biggest games. Number 8, Bridgeport versus number 4, Parkersburg South. That's in Bridgeport. Bridgeport's 5-1, but Park South is 4-1.
I never do good at this because every time I pick, if it's Bridgeport, Parkersburg South, Morgantown, whoever I pick, the other opposite wins. So I'm gonna pick Parkersburg South, but I really mean Bridgeport. So when you put that, I'm picking Bridgeport. I'm going to do some reverse psychology on it. I think the Indians are going to have it over the Patriots of Parkersburg South. It's in Bridgeport too. So I'm picking Bridgeport.
I also am picking Bridgeport for that game. They're just so tough and physical. And Park South, they're not as good as they were last year. Their quarterback and running back transferred over to Cabell Midland, who Musselman plays. So
okay.
It's going to be, I think Bridgeport is, but it's going to be a gritty 13-10 win for Bridgeport.
Okay, all right, you're picking that one.
Then we got another game, Hurricane at 4-1. They're number 9 in the state.
We're going through all the hills of West Virginia, huh?
Yeah.
All right,
Princeton
Hurricane.
number 3.
All right, so we got Hurricane versus Woodrow Wilson. Wait.
Princeton.
We got Hurricane
6-0 Princeton, undefeated.
Man, this is a game. This is a game right here.
It's the Metro News Class AAA game of the week.
Yeah, I'm going with the Princeton Tigers in this one. I think that Hurricane shows they won. They did lose. I want to say they lost one game this year. I thought, and maybe it was the GW. I don't have all the stats in front of me on that one. Princeton is undefeated though, right?
Princeton is 6-0 right now. They played a tough schedule to come out.
Yeah, and it's difficult for them to get a lot of games where they're located. So I am going with Princeton Tigers.
All right, so we also have, I'm going with, I'm going to go upset watcher. I think Hurricane's going to win this.
Okay, all right, so we differ on that one, ladies and
gentlemen. So that's the first split pick of the day.
Okay.
Then we'll go and do probably the biggest game of the week, in my opinion. Morgantown, number 6, 4-1 versus Fairmont Senior. AAA versus AA. Fairmont Senior's always got a good team.
Okay. All right, so I'm still going with Morgantown on this. I think that Visor running that wing tee
it's tough.
Will be the difference in that game. I'm picking Morgantown over Fairmont Senior.
I'm going to go with Fairmont Senior.
Oh, all right. So we're totally different this week. We are definitely going to have a winner. Bro's not picking everything I'm picking.
I'm not picking everything he's picking. Now we're going to get into some EPAC games.
Okay.
And then we'll switch to college.
Okay.
So, first one, the surprise of the season, Spring Mills. 5-1, number 5.
Don't even tell me to play. I'm picking Spring Mills.
They're going up
I don't
against
care.
Frankfurt, who's a good AA team. That's going to be a good game.
Frankfurt coming out of Mineral County. I remember coaching. We actually played Frankfurt when I played, but I remember coaching them. And there was a coach, Mickey Lance was the head coach, and he'd run this 53 stack. It was so hard to run against. They're a tough team to stop the run. But I really do think Spring Mills is a team to be reckoned with, and so I'm picking Spring Mills in this game. Mark Southia, I hope you're watching this. I'm picking this for you.
Well, the thing about Spring Mills is I mean they play that ball control game so well. They're able to run the ball, beat you down, and their defense is a lot better than I think a lot of people thought. They have a very athletic quarterback, dual threat. I'm taking Spring Mills too.
Okay.
I don't think we can disagree on that one. Spring Mills has absolutely just set the world on fire this season. So, Martinsburg, Washington, I don't think that doesn't need much explanation.
I think Martinsburg has just too much firepower.
I don't see Washington. They're 2-4 in Martinsburg.
Yeah, Martinsburg.
Jefferson and South Hagerstown.
Hey, look, I'm picking Jefferson.
I am too.
I'm going with Jefferson in this one.
They beat Hedgesville last week.
And I think Hedgesville beat South Hagerstown.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
And I
think they played both of the Hagerstown teams.
I believe Spring Mills has also knocked off South Hagerstown. So I'm going with Jefferson too. And then our last EPAC game is Hedgesville versus Liberty from Maryland. They're 2-3. Hedgesville's 3-3.
I don't know much about Liberty.
Me neither.
So I'm picking Hedgesville. I'm picking the Eagles in this.
I'll pick Hedgesville too. They'll be 4-3, getting ready for their showdown next week with the Musselman Appleman at Shepherdstown.
Yeah, at Shepherd.
At Shepherdstown
at 11
on
o'clock.
a Saturday.
11 o'clock.
Big game.
Definitely.
Big game for Musselman.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, you'll love, if you haven't been to the Shepherd Stadium, you'll love going down there and just seeing the atmosphere and everything. I'm hoping that's a good game.
All right.
Are we moving on?
Well, we got one single A game that I want.
Okay.
Or two single A games that I want.
All right.
About. So you got number 1 James Monroe versus number 5 Briar West.
Monroe. James Monroe wins this game.
Number 1 in the state for single A, 4-0. I think that's a pretty safe pick.
Okay.
And then the other one I want to talk about is Tucker County versus Moorfield.
Let me tell you something. Tucker County, that was a team that we would rival against back in that time. That is the alma mater of Jed Drenning, who's one of the voices of the Mountaineers. So Tucker County is on a roll. I think they're going to, and I'm sorry, Alicia Riggleman, I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to pick the Tucker County Mountain Lions over Moorfield.
Wow.
And Ryan Kessner is a Moorfield grad.
I guess I'm also going to take Tucker County just because they're simply ranked higher.
And you're listening to everything
And I'm listening to everything you're saying. So I would assume Moorfield, they're number 14 in the state, but I think that's going to be a solid game. So here we go. So that's high school. Now we got college football.
Okay. This is where I did my homework. I say the only place that work comes for success is in the dictionary. Success comes from work in the dictionary. So I put a little bit of time and effort into this. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be phoning a friend. We got somebody down at the board office that's going to be a guest speaker. So hopefully they'll be able to answer when we come to some games with it. So what's on our docket?
What's on the docket? Well, first game we're going to talk about is going to be on ABC, so tune in. Oklahoma, the Sooners going to the Texas Longhorns.
Whoa, time. You can't start with your biggest game in a broadcast. This is the biggest one. Do you want to start here?
Yeah, we want to start here.
All right.
We want to keep people engaged.
All right, so don't stop watching.
Don't stop watching.
Unlike other ones that leave the best for last. Not on this show. We're bringing the best right now. We're bringing the best right now, so sit down. This is the Red River Rivalry. And like I said, we're going to have a guest picker. This is going to have the Texas State Fair, which from what I hear is as big as Martinsburg. It's wonderful. And anything fried you want. fried ice cream, fried pickles you can get there. These are 2 undefeated teams that you're going to see within college football. So, hey, listen, you're going to have to start this out as we call in our guest picker. So you got some time to talk. You can stop drinking and start talking.
Yeah, no, I can, I guess, fill in some time a little bit.
So what are you picking?
I'm personally going to pick Texas. I think they're one of the most complete teams in the nation right now.
Are you there? Hey, all right, I'm putting you on speaker.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest speaker in today, all the way from John Marshall to Berkeley County, and now at the board office, your one-time vice principal, Mr. Jason Kamlowski. Jason Kamlowski, you're on the hills of West Virginia. This is an absolute real podcast. Welcome.
Thanks, Eric. Brad. I appreciate you having me on today.
Hey, listen, we're doing some pick'ems, and it's just totally for pride, but we're talking about the Red River rivalry. And we know you have been there, so can you tell the fans about, paint a picture of what they could expect at this game, and then we'll have your picks.
Okay. Yeah, so last year I had the opportunity to go to the Red River rivalry.
I have photos for you on that.
My friends and I go to a different game every year, and last year we decided on that one. So just to kind of set it up for you, so it's held at the Texas State Fair. The Cotton Bowl is actually within the Texas State Fair. So on game day, your ticket to the game gets you into the State Fair of Texas, which if you've never seen the State Fair of Texas, it is absolutely massive. What I would compare it to size-wise is kind of take like Exit 12 in Martinsburg, like where you've got the Commons, and maybe like triple it in size. And that's probably the size of the Texas State Fair. I mean, it's absolutely huge.
Okay.
But so you walk in, your ticket gets you in the game, and you walk through the parking lot. There's Oklahoma fans and there's Texas fans, and they're tailgating. And but really, you don't need the tailgate because the moment you get into the Texas State Fair, there is food everywhere, food and drink everywhere. And the cool thing about the Texas State Fair, there's a couple cool things, but you don't pay cash. So what you do is you get these tickets, and the tickets are what gets you food and drink.
Like old school.
Good. Yeah, the tickets are good forever too. So like if my friends and I were to go back this year, we could take the tickets that we bought last year and use them again.
Wow.
But you go in, you walk in, and there's just so many neat things. I mean, they've got a giant Ferris wheel. It's like it's one of the biggest Ferris wheels at a state fair in the world, and they've got your normal carnival rides, and they've got the poultry barn, and they've got the steer barn, and it's not like this like small. I mean, these are like massive like arenas that can seat like thousands of people.
So it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And like the whole time, because the game kicks off at 11 o'clock local time.
Okay.
So you've already got people like in the fair, like buzzing, and there's people everywhere, and you've got the Texas orange, and you got the Oklahoma crimson and cream, and fans from both teams.
Is Bevo there?
Bevo is there.
Okay.
Bevo the longboard is there. You've got the Boomer Share there. And so, you just walk around, you just take in the sights of the State Fair, and then you go into the Cotton Bowl, which is, one of the oldest stadiums in the country. I mean, the Cotton Bowl has hosted games for years and years and years. It's an old stadium, so it doesn't really have the frills. It doesn't have a Jumbotron. It doesn't have luxury suites, really. It's just an old school stadium, but it is like one of the coolest places I've ever watched a football game. And so like half the stadium, and if you watch on TV on Saturday, half the stadium is maroon for Oklahoma, and the other half is orange for Texas. And, before the game, the bands both play, and, you've got the crowds from both sides kind of doing their chant and singing along with their fight song. And then
it's college football at its best then, right?
It is like the pageantry of college football. I mean, and I was kind of on the fence about it because it's a neutral site game, and I like going to college campuses and seeing like the different campuses.
Right.
But honestly, Eric, and I've been to Alabama, I've been to Georgia, I've been to Clemson, I've been to Florida State, I've been to Florida, I've been to Notre Dame. It was the best game environment that I've ever been to.
That is awesome.
It was the best trip that we've had. It was awesome. Honestly, I wish I was going back on Saturday.
But you got a soccer game. You got a soccer game.
A soccer game, and I've got a baseball game. I've got a coach pitch game. But the cool thing is too, after the game's over, you walk out after the game, you're like, man, I'm starving. You can get deep fried everything.
So
deep fried Oreos, deep fried Snickers, deep fried butter, deep fried pickles.
Deep fried butter.
Deep fried butter, yeah. And you can get turkey legs, and you can get pork shoulder, and I mean, it like there's food everywhere, and everybody's in a good mood. Even the people that lose, honestly, like last year, Oklahoma
Doesn't matter. Game doesn't matter. You got the
but
Texas
how can you
Fair.
be mad when you're having a deep fried Oreo? So
Yeah, it makes it all better.
It's an awesome experience. Yeah, I mean, just a great place to watch a game. Tomorrow, sure. Saturday should be awesome. Both teams are undefeated. Oklahoma, Brent Venables is getting them going. Texas, obviously, with Sark and Quinn Ewers. They've already beaten Alabama, so they're having a great year. I mean, I think they're kind of thinking college football playoff. But the winner of this game, obviously, will have the inside track to the college football.
And guest picker, who you picking?
Yeah, so this is an interesting matchup here because it's kind of a strength-on-strength thing. Oklahoma with Venables, that's a very defensive-minded football team. But Dylan Gabriel is the quarterback for Oklahoma. And Dylan Gabriel has a lot of big game experience. And so I think the story coming in the week is, Quinn Ewers and Steve Sarkisian and how are they going to attack Venables' defense. But honestly, if Dylan Gabriel plays well and Oklahoma can stay in the game in the first half, I really like Oklahoma on Saturday.
All right, he's picking.
Texas has the better roster.
Okay. All right.
Oklahoma
He's
going for blood on Saturday. So I like the Sooners.
You're going horns down, huh?
Yeah, Boomer Sooner on Saturday.
All right, Boomer Sooner. Okay, Morbius, who do you have?
I got the Texas Longhorns. I think they're one of the most complete teams in the nation. I think they have a real shot this year to win the whole thing.
So I'm the deciding factor in this one. You know what? I'm going Texas. I got them winning this one. I think that Texas and Michigan are the two best teams in the nation. And so I'm going with that. Hey, thank you, guest picker. Thank you for that, Jason. And if you like this podcast, tune in to the Hail Mary podcast. It's totally fictional. It's fake. But we've been doing it for 6 years now. Hey, have a good day at the board office. And I love you, brother.
I love you too, man. Thanks for having me on, guys. Have a great day.
All right, see you. So there's our guest picker. Little sight from him. And so we have that one. That's the big game. That's the one.
The big game, the Red River rivalry. I'll be watching it, and then at 1 o'clock, I'll turn it off.
So if you don't have anything else to do, go on it. We're done because he picked the biggest game for the beginning, but we're not. Actually.
We're not done.
So what else you got?
All right, so we have another big game. Probably not as big.
Maybe it's not.
But hey, for all of you Big Ten fans, Ohio State's playing. They played Maryland this week.
Maryland? My Maryland. No.
Maryland's always pretty decent. I mean, they're never
I was born in
playoff conversation, but they're always pretty good. Now, Ohio State, though.
Ryan Day hasn't announced about Marvin Harrison Jr. his status.
He is
so
not.
I don't know if he's playing or not.
Well, they might be playing that little mind game.
Both teams are undefeated.
Yeah, both teams are undefeated.
But I think that might be a little bit too much for the Terrapins to go in. I'm picking the Ohio State at the U.
I'm also picking the Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Okay.
I would love to pick Maryland.
I would love to, but I
don't see it.
I don't see it. All right. What we got next?
We got LSU, Missouri. So I'm an LSU fan. Okay.
All right.
Joe Burrow.
Tigers.
Big fan of him. So I'm never going to pick against LSU.
Okay.
But they aren't great right now. Brian Kelly, I think that was just an absolute miss of a hire.
So you don't like him?
I don't like Brian Kelly.
Okay.
I didn't like him whenever he went into that college basketball game and was talking in a Southern accent.
All right.
The guy is just not a Southern guy. I don't care about that, but I just
saw Twitter graphics.
Huh?
Twitter graphics.
Yeah, I mean LSU, they've fallen off. They've just fallen off.
Okay.
I'm picking them, though.
All right, so I'm going to talk to you. Missouri's undefeated. They're very pass-heavy with quarterback Brady Cook in this. I don't know if Brian Kelly's got this thing all turned around. I'm going Tigers, but I'm going Mizzou. I got Mizzou in this one.
The thing about LSU and Jaden Daniels, he's going to get injured at some point because he is like allergic to sliding. All bro does is just take hits. It makes me very sad.
Right.
I'll pick LSU, but I'm not going to be shocked if they drop this game. Missouri's a very good football.
What else we got? What's next?
So we got another big game. Florida State and Virginia Tech. Now, Virginia Tech's not very good, but Florida State, the Seminoles, are number 5 in the nation. They're undefeated. They did beat my Tigers at the start of the year. They beat Clemson last week. I'm going to take Florida State in this game. Virginia Tech's...
State has really built its program around that transfer portal. And they were my pick at the beginning of the season to win the ACC. Virginia Tech, the thing they have going is, wow, they still come out to enter Sandman. But I don't think that'll be enough. Plus, they're playing at Florida State. So you're not going to hear enter Sandman. Florida State, Seminoles. Yeah. The Noles go in this. And I think that Virginia Tech does have the top ACC pass defense, but they're going to be really tested in this game against quarterback Jordan Travis. So the Noles are going to win.
So, and then of course you got Alabama. They're going up against the Aggies, Texas A&M.
So I got a question for you.
Okay.
There is a West Virginia connection in this game. Ooh. Do you know what the West Virginia connection is to the Alabama-Texas A&M game?
Think North Central West Virginia.
Like Morgantown?
Mannington? And Clarksburg.
All right, so here's the connection. Both coaches, Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban,
grew up in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Fairmont, yeah.
Fisher is from Clarksburg, and Saban is from the Fairmont area, which has Muriel's. That would be good.
Well,
let's pick who has better food.
Before we do that, there is a little history for Stephen Askin here. A little bit of the war.
Stephen Askins the third?
Stephen Askins the third.
Okay.
That changed to Stephen Askins the first. So Stephen Askins the first is friends with a coach at Jefferson. His name is John Syrian. John Syrian grew up with Nick Saban.
Okay.
So
this is going to be a slugfest.
Yeah.
I think. And I'm going Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Although the Aggies, they always play them tough.
Is that Gig 'em Aggies?
So I'm gonna take Alabama.
All right.
But I think it's gonna be very tight. Alabama is not the powerhouse they once were. They're not gonna sniff the playoffs this year. If they take a loss here,
every time we say that.
Well, we do say that,
right.
but I mean,
we say that all the time. Well, this is our first year. But we will be saying that a lot more.
Well, when it comes time for the SEC championship and Georgia absolutely blows them out, we know their chances will be down.
What's next?
So we're gonna skip around here a little bit. We got number 1 Georgia versus Kentucky.
Okay, that's the game I really want to talk about right there, man. I tell you, my question that I would have to ask is Georgia the true number 1? Because I think you got 10 teams right now, and the pack. I mean, the pack is back, but it won't be for long because you won't have a pack. But they're a well-balanced offense. But I'm telling you what, this Kentucky running back in Ray Davis, he is a man, and they can run the ball heavily. But they're having trouble passing the ball, as you've seen, with the tough defense.
Yeah,
with the tough defense in Georgia. Is this an upset? Is this an upset brewing?
I would love for it to be an upset.
Then say it.
You know what?
Say it's
on
an
the
upset.
West Virginia podcast,
just like I will.
We do crazy things on this podcast. We are picking an upset. Kentucky versus Georgia.
Okay.
Kentucky pulls it off.
He's crazy. I am picking Georgia Bulldogs.
Kentucky pulls it off. No.
Georgia,
we are doing this right now. Kentucky pulls it off.
Georgia Bulldogs will prevail, but it'll be a good game if they can stop the run. Where else? We go Notre Dame.
This doesn't get clipped in 20 years.
Notre Dame, Louisville.
Notre Dame, Louisville.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson's old team, Louisville. Yeah. Notre Dame took that tough loss to Ohio State,
which they were the better team. I will say that in that game.
I'm going to take Notre Dame. I think it's still a pretty
single team has Notre Dame circled as their game. And Notre Dame hasn't had a break. They've been in Ireland. They played the Ohio State. They were down at Duke. Now they're coming to Louisville. Next week, don't they have USC, I think, with it? Notre Dame hasn't had a break. And Louisville's quarterback, Jake Plumbers, they're 5-0. But I think overall, Notre Dame can run the ball. They can play defense. This is a low score. I think this is close. Notre Dame really does need a breather, but I'm picking the Irish.
I think I'm picking the Irish too. You also got Michigan and Minnesota now.
This is old school Big Ten football. This is a rivalry that goes back to 1892 for the Little Brown Jug. And at the end of this game, the Michigan Wolverines will be carrying off the Little Brown Jug. It's really neat how the Big Ten teams, every week they fight over some type of memorabilia or something. You know, every game has something like that. I said it on this broadcast, until something happens. My number 1 is Michigan. My number 2 is Texas. Right now, that's how I stand in it. Wolverines win.
I'm picking
great defense.
I'm picking
great
the Wolverines too. Again, J.J. McCarthy. He's having a strong start to his season so far. I think Michigan's going to win the Big Ten again. They're going to beat Ohio State again. And
Harbaugh's back.
And I think after Kentucky upsets Georgia this weekend,
I honestly do think that could be an upset.
I just want it to happen so bad. And we give hot takes on this podcast. We do some crazy things on this podcast.
Crazy.
Kentucky is going. That's my upset of the week.
Not too crazy though.
It's not too crazy. I mean, we're not going to pick a team that's not in the top 25 to beat Georgia, but Michigan will be number 1 after Kentucky.
Okay.
Has an insane upset. So then you got Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Okay, this is an interesting one too.
This is an interesting
Lane
game.
Kiffin's got that Jackson Dart as the quarterback, but I tell you what, that Razorback KJ Jefferson, he's very good too.
Yeah, well, Arkansas.
This is a good quarterback match.
2-3, 0-2 in the SEC. Ole Miss 4-1, I believe.
Won a big game last week, right?
Yeah, they won a big game. If I'm staying correct, I believe it was against my LSU Tigers.
It was.
Which was an absolute heartbreaker.
So are you picking?
I'm gonna pick Ole Miss. That offense.
So you're not gonna go.
No, I've already picked my upset.
Hogs.
I think it's gonna be Ole Miss. They get it done. They looked so good last week.
I have Ole Miss written down, so I'm not going to go against that. I'll go Ole Miss as well.
And then, hey, this one, you know, you can kind of give us a little serenation here. You got the University of Miami versus Georgia Tech.
The rambling wreck of Georgia Tech that you see. Miami's tough, man.
They're good.
Yes, they are. I'm definitely picking the U. Georgia Tech has to go out and get a new defensive coordinator as well. I think they're a little bit rocky, and going into play the U have this one. And the turnover chain is going to be handed to a lot of people. I think the U is going to get several turnovers this week.
Well, the U is on fire right now.
Yeah.
And I'm also,
they're undefeated. They're another undefeated, like a quiet ACC team that we wouldn't be talking
about. Now,
about.
they haven't played any ACC teams yet,
right.
But I don't think this is going to be a loss.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be their first loss. So then, of course, you know, this is the last game we'll pick here. USC and Arizona. Now, USC, Caleb Williams, very good. Caleb Williams has been on fire. Last week, Deion Sanders, USC beat him in a shootout 48-41, so I'm taking USC. Arizona's not bad. They're 3-2. But I mean, USC, they're going to win the Pac-12 this year. They're going to move to the Big Ten next year. I think Caleb Williams might stay in college football forever. Okay.
All right. You know what? That was a talk. Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
We just don't know where he's going yet. With Lincoln Riley, I wish we would have spent a little more time on this show, maybe next one, talking about the Pac, because I mean you have a Washington Huskies team, you have a Oregon Duck, you have a USC team with no defense, but still you got a Washington State team. There's a lot of teams in there that unfortunately could end up just beating each other up, and you know. You only have, of course, there can only be one. USC wins this week, but I'm telling you what, I think the road gets rougher next week, because are they at South Bend? I don't know if they travel to South Bend or not, but playing the Irish and everything. USC wins this one, but they got to get that defense working out, or they're going to be trouble later on in the season.
Yeah, USC play Notre Dame next week.
At home, at Notre Dame, at South Bend, yeah.
So that's going to be a tough game. Notre Dame's very good. If Notre Dame can pick up a big one this week, I don't know. So, now, of course, you know that's most of the college games, but there's one more we got to pick.
Okay.
Mr. Welch is wearing the shirt right now.
Is West Virginia.
West Virginia going to the University of Houston.
That's this week.
Yeah, that's this week.
Oh, my.
So it's...
Yeah, I thought they were too.
No, it's next Thursday.
Oh,
so
Thursday.
We'll still pick it because
we might not be on until next Thursday.
We might not be on until next Thursday.
Yeah. So that's when you need to tune into the Hail Mary podcast. Totally fake, but still.
Yeah. So here we go. Houston, West Virginia. You look at their schedule this year. I got it pulled up on my phone right now.
Houston joining the Big 12.
They are 4-1, 3-1 right now.
Who would have thought that?
Who would have thought? There are people in Morgantown.
I would have thought.
Okay, and that person might be back right now, and he has been very vehement about Neil Brown needing to be fired. But
Don't pound on the table.
I will pound on the table. But he will save their season. Neil Brown.
I'm picking West Virginia.
I'm picking West Virginia too. They are
next Thursday.
They are very
Thursday
solid.
night on what? ESPN.
I would
ESPN
assume
2.
ESPN.
ESPN.
And I mean, you look at their schedule. They're going to have.
Did you watch that Disney Plus game with the Jaguars?
I did watch it with Toy Story. That was a very interesting.
I'm like, what if they bring out the college football?
Well, I'll tell you what, that was good, but I don't think that
they had the Slinky dog as the chain.
I know. Well, I don't think it was as good though as last year when you had the Nickelodeon slime game.
I wasn't into it yet. I'm a Disney fan.
Anywhere you can see a cartoon Bijan Robinson juke somebody out of their shoes.
It was.
Will they make a video game into this? Because if they do, I'm buying it.
If the NFL did the Super Bowl in a Toy Story format, I would watch
the Mannings.
So I would watch that.
The Mannings have to be.
The
Mannings have to be toys. Like
Toy Story. Peyton Manning and Eli Manning commentating the Super Bowl. I would not pay to watch that. I would pay money to watch.
This guy's in. All right, so what else?
So again, you look at
Mountaineers.
They got the Cowboys after the Cougars, right? Oklahoma State, UCF, BYU.
Don't matter. Mountaineers.
I'm thinking to myself, they could be potentially 8-1 going into that game against the Oklahoma Sooners.
Winning it. You got it.
It could be Neil Brown could be staying after.
Now, any more picks?
Well, we got one more pick.
You keep on saying that.
We got one more pick, but now it's for the NFL, right? So we got Steelers versus the Ravens. Now this matchup, I believe, is it in Baltimore or in Pittsburgh? I don't know.
Man.
But I think, let me check on that right now.
I'll tell you, I think my favorite Steeler game over them was it the 13-9 AFC Championship with Palomalu. But that game right there, they are brutal. Those two teams don't like each other.
No, they do not.
They play tough. It'll be 13-9 Steelers. I'm picking
Physical.
them.
It's in Pittsburgh. It's Mike Tomlin. He doesn't have losing seasons.
He doesn't, but
they're 2-2. Last week they did not look good against.
We're like that roller coaster you get on Kennywood. We're up.
Kenny Pitt.
Down. No, Kennywood. Kennywood is their, like in Pittsburgh. It's their theme park.
Oh, is it like Dollywood?
No, it's nowhere near as good. No. But it's Kennywood.
Kennywood.
Yeah, Kennywood.
Well,
it's the old time. Pennsylvania. It's a lot of fun for the family.
Well, the other Kenny Pitt.
I don't know if he's playing, is he?
I don't know either. I know he had a bad knee injury.
Doesn't matter. We're winning.
If it is Mitchell Trubisky,
I don't care.
I'm still picking the Steelers.
I'm picking the Steelers.
That is a rivalry that it does not matter how good or how bad the teams are. Okay, the Steelers will always win in Pittsburgh, and Baltimore will always win.
What we need to do is, this is all for pride. We need to get a trophy at the end, and I don't know if we want to give it each week or if we want to give it the end of the year trophy. So
big dog like Fox NFL.
Stephen Askins the third, and Eric Ashby Brown. This has been the Hills of West Virginia. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. See you later.